Alright you guys, welcome to Cosplays. This is a new game I just found. It's a tank building game, and it's actually kind of fun. So let me show you a little bit about what the tank's about, the game's about, and we'll go from there. So the tank is an engine that builds games and or builds tanks, it means, and you can basically change any part of it you want. So if I go to the base here, it gives you a big list of stuff here, and it's a little bit overwhelming at first. But you can change stuff like the height of your turret, right? You can change like the front glacis. Guess that's up there. Side glacis. See it moving right in there. Let's see. Rear glacis. Way up there. Okay. Got offset. Front. Pitch it way back, or stick it up there like right? Sponses. This is the sides. Stick this out over the track. And slant it side to side. It's kind of hard to see with the tracks. But anyways, you can do all this different stuff. To the hull, to the turrets, the same thing. The turret ring, front angle, that kind of stuff. It goes on and on, right? Mobility, your powertrain. You could have a clutch braking or a twin transmission. This is a World War II tank. This is a pre-made tank here. So we'll drive this around just to show you how it is. Well, let me reload it so it's stock. So I'll give you a list here. I have some of my own. This is an autosave tank here of mine. These are all pre-built. These last three are tanks I've designed since I've been here. So I have like a light tank and a heavy tank, and a light tank that, even lighter tank that has spaced armor on it. You'll see. I'll show you. Now let's start off with what they give us to start with, which would be this one here. It's the one you saw right there. You can change the colors of it and stuff. The camos. And then once you have the camo, you could actually change the hue of the camo. Let's get a camo that's got some stuff going on. Forest, snow. Okay, we'll do this one. So then you can change the colors and the saturation of the colors, and the brightness of the colors. There you go. See if I can change the hue. There's some pinks in there, and some greens and reds, and I'll go with the green. Alright, and then you can make it look metallic and things like this. It's kind of hard to see on this. You can make it look old. You can change the size of the camo. And something like that. The condition of the the tank could be solid rust. You can make it super dirty and rusty. Look at that. Oh, it looks bad. Anyways, put it back. A little bit of both. Okay, so there's my dirty, grimy World War I tank. You could put decals on it. I heard these are bugged out. I guess they are. That's okay though. They'll figure it out. It's a new game. It's very alpha. You could do stuff like your crew. You could allocate what their jobs are. Where they're sitting in the vehicle, turret, or the hull. As far as moving like the commander around or the driver, it's a matter of moving their cupolas or their driver's port. See, there's a driver's port right here. So when you're building the tank, see, like down here's the viewport. So if I want to put another viewport on the tank, see, it kind of takes up some space. But if you hold down shift, you can make things smaller, like like a little midget, commander. Something like that. Other viewports is like the gunner's port is here, and it usually goes next to the gun somehow. See, there it is there. And you can put a second one in. Sometimes they get shot up and you can't see at them no more, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to stick one somewhere else, even if it's got to be commander's view, right? if one goes out, you might be able to get to the other one. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, let's drive this tank. There's lots of stuff. Antennas, storage boxes. I could put a storage box in the back of this. I can scale it down so it doesn't look, so ridiculous. Maybe not that small. Something like, see, it stays on there. Okay, not bad. Alright. And if you hold down shift and hold down the middle mouse, you can move side to side like this. Just get that more centered. There we go. Oh, I just picked it up again. Centered. Okay. Alright, and there's our basket. 2 people in the crew, and there's 2 sleeping bags, and some kind of roll there. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the tent, or it's the tent halves. I don't know. Whatever. Could be the tent. Okay, so let's drive this sucker. So here's the obstacle course. If you want to know if your tank's any good, you just drive it over these obstacle courses. And I haven't changed this tank any. It's doing pretty good though. I found myself changing tanks and them not being able to do these obstacle courses at all. So this is actually a hard one for a lot of tanks. And this is pretty good. And this is a trench that everybody gets stuck in. Yeah, see. Now the gun has a little aimer there, you can see it. The reload time is near the bottom right there, or bottom left there of the crosshairs. You see where it says 0, 0, means it's loaded. Now you can go to a gunner's view, see there's a gunner's view. This is the one that's off to the side. You can't use the machine guns yet that I know of. Now the X is where the gun's firing, not necessarily the pointer. Remember this gun sight's off to the side. So, you have to get used to that. But it's really not a game yet. It's more like a simulator. You have test runs and stuff. So this thing's actually pretty freaking quick. Oh, it goes up this? Wow. I haven't found a tank yet that can climb this. There it is. World War I. Straight up this thing. Now this thing doesn't have any armor. That kind of, it's nothing really, I don't know if I can get over this. Oh, is he gonna do it? Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. He's almost there. He's tipping. But then he goes off to the side. Okay. Pretty cool. Oh. I didn't have any tanks. There we go. I made it. Just had to finesse it in there. So this thing's actually pretty fast. And pretty good. 70 miles per hour, because I have no idea what the hell kilometers means. Sorry guys, I'm from the US. They don't teach us that stuff, what am I supposed to do? Nothing that we uses it. Except for if you're in the military, then everything's in meters and kilometers then. So this thing's actually pretty good. It's 25, 26 miles an hour, but it can't take a hit. Like, let's see what happens when I hit this barrel. Oh, it just killed the tank, see what I mean? No bueno. So there's other tanks, and this thing I can change it up. Let me show you some other parts of what I could do to it. The tracks, you could have, I could change the type of wheels that are on it. Some stuff doesn't have choices, but the front sprocket here. I could change it up, make it, open one or closed one, or a fancy multi-parted one. I think I like that one. Okay. It's solid. Easy to change. Suspension, you can have different kinds of suspension. I'm not going to mess with this one. Nothing, you can save stuff here. You load it here. If you like what you got, you could rename it. So it's model 4, I guess. So I could make it model 4 version 1 and then, change it up and do stuff. So I made a tank. Not my first tank, probably my 400, no, I wouldn't say 400, but probably my 15th tank. And so I made this one here. And it's with World War I parts, except for, I was able to figure out how to balance the gun so I could put a big long barrel on there. So I figured out how to use the little red and yellow, green lines that are in here. Let's see if I can show you that. Let's see, firepower, cannon. Okay, so there's this ability to go up and down is here. See the red arrow or line, and then there's this one back here. You can hardly see it. There's an angle here. I guess this is the breach, the weight of the breach. So this little blue line, as I change stuff like the barrel length, the blue line moves. See, make it more heavy to the front. This is more heavy to the rear. So technically, I could actually make the barrel even longer than it was before. Now, making the barrel longer changes all these parameters down here. What I'm looking for usually is penetration and accuracy, right? So by making this longer, it changes the penetration slightly, but the accuracy increases quite a bit too. So at 100 meters, I'd be 31 millimeters off. It's not bad. Now, the other problem you have with these tanks is that they're not able to hold the weight of their own gun. Sometimes, Now see how this is a little bit pushed forward now. That's not going to be bad, but it's going to take more engine power to move it. Tells you here the elevation 2.5 seconds or 2.5 degrees a second, which is very slow, right? So if I can get that to go up by shortening the barrel. See, 2.5, but now it's going back down again because it's unbalanced. So the best I could get with this heavy gun like this is going to be 2.7 degrees. If I go too high, it goes back. So I find the fine mark here, 2.7. See, watch, if I go down, it goes to 2.6, which is slower. If I go up, it goes to 2.7, but if I keep going up, it goes back down to 2.6. So you're going to have to find the happy mediums to all this stuff. Thickness and stuff, that's just because I was trying to keep this tank light, right? So by putting a starting thickness of a barrel, like this, you see the gun, it looks ridiculous. So, and then by doing that, also messes up every other parameters, such as these parameters. So, but anyways, so we get the thing back to normal, and then do this. You click this or just hit space. Space works. And this is the tank I made. Now it's a World War I tank, so the turning radius is slow because it's hand cranked. So this is basically a turreted tank that better off being used as non-turreted vehicle and just using the slight turns for adjustments on moving targets and stuff. It's a long-range gun. I don't remember what the caliber is, but it's pretty big for World War I. But anyways, this thing runs pretty good. It does all the obstacles. It doesn't do that big hill over there. I'm going to do this backwards. That's okay. It should go over it. But yeah, you see, this thing's not bad. A little tiny front wheel. I don't remember them being that small. I think I messed up something when I was screwing around with barrels and shit. But anyways, it's doing its job. Pretty sure those weren't that small. Need to fix that. It's going though. Yeah, so okay, so you get to see an example of me fixing this. Let's go back to mobility. Back to the tracks. Okay, so I was messing around with stuff here and I screwed those up. So the diameter is minimum. That's not right. So it should be, I don't know, about like that. Yeah, it's about right. And this, obviously this one's wrong too. So this is the Sprocket, I guess. Oh, that's the Sprocket. Okay, front engine tank. So this is the idler, I guess so. Diameter's way down. Well, I didn't save it like that, but I think they changed something when it does patches. Some things go crazy. So like the spacing on this isn't right either. So my saved tank is still screwed up from the save. So this game has some work to do, obviously. This thing's okay though. Okay, so that looks better. It's probably right. I kept this wheel smaller because it doesn't really do anything. This one, if it's bigger, you get more torque. Or you get more speed, but less torque. But you saw this thing was moving pretty good. Engine, you can do basic stuff, but I got it like this: 8-cylinder, 4.54 liters per cylinder. This is a scale that lets you know how much horsepower you're doing out. So at 2,800 RPM, this thing's putting out 1,051 horsepower. My max target's 2640, which is probably slightly fast. Because I noticed it flickering, so we'll do 2600. So 2600, which is the governed speed, it's putting out 983 horsepower. Not bad. And then my minimum target In other words, when he drops the clutch to go, I want him around 1,000 horsepower, and then the idle set at 1,000, so that I don't have to wait for the engine to rev up to do things, especially like turning, and because the engine, if it's not revved, it has to rev up, and that'll make it hard to steer. So you want to keep your RPMs up, even though it eats fuel, but there's ways of fixing that. So I put the exhaust in the back here. Yeah, let's see, I think it's under crew. I can move stuff around. Anyways, if I grab, see, I can move stuff around. If I hold shift down, I can make stuff bigger. Right, yeah. Just give you an idea how big tanks can be. This is the mufflers. This game, yeah, you can turn off the limitations of sizes of stuff, and this is as small as they can get. Like I said, it's a small little tank. It's 28 tons. This ain't nothing compared to what they can be building out there. So anyway, so everything can be moved, everything can be resized, every single piece, every part, which just makes it fun to me. So anyways, let's drive this one. And there we go. Yeah, it's better. The back wheel might be a little bit bigger, but like I said, you always be making adjustments to your tanks. So this is my version of a World War I tank. Kind of looks like a UDES, like a, a 14.5 or something like that. I don't remember how they designate them, but it's not. That's my design. It just came, I just started angling stuff till it looked like it would work. You could change your you could change where your ammo is. You could put it in the turret, in the hull, wherever, or both. You could change how much horsepower goes into the turret traversing and stuff. This one doesn't have the turret traverse option, but yeah, this thing's rolling pretty good. Now, they did this game when I first started playing it was almost impossible to drive any tank at all, but seeing how they did some adjustments, you can see I'm taking this bank pretty easy, and I got control of the tank pretty good. So I like my design because I can drive it. Some of these tanks they come up with, I can't turn them or nothing. Now there's one scenario, it's the first scenario actually, it puts you in the mud, and it's just ice, just sliding all over crazy, and it's not easy to go. And I just, even the bots were just slipping and sliding and be backwards and stuff. Just couldn't move, couldn't go forward, nothing. And that's still kind of like that over there on that map, but this particular tank actually doesn't do bad on it. It's still hard to control, as you can see here, driving like an Indy car, but when you get out on that mud, man, I don't know if it has something to do with the tracks. I would assume it would. I don't have mud tracks on this. I have soft terrain tracks, the rubber, I think they're rubber. Yeah, they're rubber tracks with, road, I don't know what they are. You tankers know what these are called, but they're for the road and for grass, and they're not just chain linked. So anyways, there is actually, seeing how the driving was so bad, I'm sure a lot of people, you've seen this part of this map, right? I'm sure you have in other people's videos, and whatever streamers are. But this map, seeing how I got the speed, this map actually has some other fun places to be. I accidentally found them by going, as fast as I can go in this tank, and just flying, just kind of running into it. So it's a beach. You'll see. It gets a little air here. Alright. So there's a couple of fun things I do down here. I tried to jump this, and it is a jump, absolutely. But you die. That's the only thing. And taking impacts like that hurts the crews. You see the crew down there? It's all beat up a little bit. They're in yellow. When they're red, they're dead. They're done. There's no one left in the tank, and the tank stops. Now, as people get hurt and die, things take longer, like reload times or driving speed or abilities to turn. I think the driver here's got all the room he can have. I moved him over. I moved him up in a different version, and he got more comfortable. I guess he's too close to like the gunner or something, the driver here. So this is my test course, and this is like a runway. I usually go down here all the way, but I won't. I just get up to top speed to show you this. It doesn't take long to get there. I'm at 31, 32, 33, but I'm in a red line with my engine. Okay, so that's that. So let's just creep back over here. Now, Here's the fun part of this particular area. that that out there can be broke. You know, that fence. I just hope I don't blow my engine before I get there, because I'm redlining it. Oh, like a champ. Look at that. Look at that. Balanced. This tank is balanced, so I'm very proud of this tank. Still over revs a little bit, but I just think the reason is because I gotta change the gear ratios. It gets there too easy. Oh, the other thing is that I think the back wheel is still too small compared to what it was before. I think it was bigger. And that has a lot to do with it too, because I'm hitting the RPMs I don't normally hit. So I can try and make that bigger, and that should... Oh, that's not the one that matters, it's this one. I think I gotta change the gear ratio, so you get to see a little bit of that. So transmission. So you guys want to know, I mean, this is a 28-ton tank. You can pause the video and look at this gear ratio setup. You don't have to be exactly 901. It could be 9, 450, 3, 115, and 70 or 75 would be fine in any tank that weighs about like this. So what I did to make this tank better armored without changing any of this is I lengthened it. I can't remember what I did. I think I made it slightly bigger, maybe wider, so I had more room here. We'll see. Let me just load it. Let's see. It would be this one. Yeah, this is actually a lighter one version of it. So this is a space armor version of the same tank, and it has a smaller sprocket here because I need the torque, because it weighs more. It technically doesn't weigh more. It doesn't have the right gear ratios here. Now I saved my gear ratios, so we're going to take it out like this, but I think if I load my other gear ratios, I might be okay. Well, let's just see how it does with what it's got, because there's two versions of this tank. Yeah, this thing, this thing I go up against the Panther. Look how little the gun is, though. This is probably the first version. I end up making a bigger gun. So I was able to take the Panther hits in the scenario, but I wasn't able to penetrate him, so I just took a beating until he finally did get to me. Yeah, spaced armor. Now it does blow off my tracks. So I don't want to hit it with my tracks too many times, but you notice. Oh, there's a cruise. That's 3. Cruise just got damage on that other one, not this last one. But yeah, this thing can take some hits before it goes down. It's not terrible. It's like driving a boat. It turns like a boat. Oh, but it does make it up there. Oh, it do get stuck on stuff like that. See, now my tank's not tall enough to be on these sideways. So let me load the other one, just to make sure. This is a heavier version of that other tank, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, so this one is 28 tons. Now what I do is I use spaced armor. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the original tank. If you look underneath, you can kind of see, like, the angles that the other tank had. It's hard to see, but I just put my own spaced armor by just getting creative, and it works. And as I get killed, I look to see where I got killed from, and then I add more spaced armor in that area. And, just keep adding until they can't do shit. And this is what I came up with. So this thing's a beast. It's not very fast. It's fast enough though. I consider this the heavy. It's a heavy version of the same tank. So this has a bigger engine in it. Like I said, I think I had to make it taller so that I can get the engine and just the springs, just everything to hold this thing up in the air the way it is. I don't know what kind of speed demon this thing really is, but it's doing 12. That's not bad. I might have to load the transmission. I have a couple different transmission setups. Still testing. Everything is there's never a final version of anything, I put the headlight right in the center front. I used to play this game called Crossout, and Crossout, is very similar to this game, but way more advanced, as far as the gameplay goes. But this is tanks. This is different. There are scenarios against other tanks, and maybe in my next video I'll show you that, guys. But I want to show you the jump on this one. Yeah, we go back to the beach though. You do drown and stuff like that. There's an edge in the map, and when you run into it, you die. Well, that's because I probably hit it at 40 miles an hour, but when you hit it, it's the same as running into a brick wall. So let's go out by the water, see what kind of limitations I have. And I haven't really messed with water too much. A little bit some of the scenarios. You think you... Oh, see, I can't even get to the water. See, there's that wall. When you get close to it, you can kind of see it. Kind of red, see? See, my guys all took damage there from that. And they're all in the orange now. So I know you guys want me to jump that big jump. This one up here. Yeah, it's a little tricky view in this thing. But it works. Let's see. I think... Oops. Yeah, see, I got the bigger gun on this one. Let's see what kind of guns on this one. Firepower. 75 millimeter. I kept it pretty standard. I'd have lots of room in the turret to do stuff with it. But I think this is one that I wasn't real sure on how these things worked yet. But yeah, right on. Let's see. You can want to see the... You guys... Oh wait, let me jump the thing with my... This one. Okay, back to this tank. Hit the space. Hit the go. Let's go jump that jump. That'll be my finale for the end of this video and the tank that I made. Kind of proud of it, guys. I haven't figured out how to get the ones with the turrets that move quicker. I think it's just a matter of me building those tanks in those scenarios and saving them. I'm not sure. Still in the World War. I'm still learning this. The World War I part. Here we go. Taking the jump. Oh, he survives it. Oh, Klaus has got the suspension working good now. Well, that's it, guys. That's my video. This game is called Sprocket. It's on Steam. It's kind of fun. It does have scenarios where you fight tanks, and when you go out, you have your tank, with other tanks of your design with you. So in case you die, you can, flip to the next one or whatever. Plus, it's cool, You go out there with your little tank platoon and see how you do. Anyways, guys, this is all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. Klaus is out.